What should the Mavericks' plan be to build around Cooper Flagg as we move toward the All-Star break? We'll discuss that more coming up next on the DLLS Mavs podcast. It's the DLLS Mavs podcast live in our downtown Dallas DLLS Sports Studios. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Haraj Jr. and our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Curler. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys covering your favorite team, even with one game left before the All-Star break. What should the Mavericks do to build around Cooper Flagg now and going into the summer? Plus, Naji Marshall having a career year. And our guy, Ron Haraj Jr., had a chance to sit down with him to discuss what has been a fantastic season so far for the Knife. It's on this wonderful Wednesday, less than what? Barely over 12 hours since we last saw each other?
Yeah. You all look the same.
Feels
What's up,
like
Ron?
Feels like just yesterday.
I know. You're doing solid. Made it here. Now I'm ready for a great show.
Same. I'm a little hungry. I'm excited about lunch. I'm weighing my options, and hopefully by the end of the hour, I will know what is in store.
Okay. Let us know how you're feeling out there today. Appreciate you joining us here on DLLS
Let us know. What are
Sports.
you eating for lunch?
There you go.
Or breakfast, or dinner, wherever you
Or
are.
wherever you are. Yeah, that's true. Gal, could you wait up? What up? Didn't I just see y'all 12 hours ago? Yes, you did.
You did.
You did. That's after the
How do you
Mavericks.
know this isn't just, we didn't just stick around after the show and record this? How do you know this is actually live?
Because we're wearing different clothes. We're literally wearing
That's
different
probably an easy way to throw people off the scent.
I wonder, does the lighting look different at night versus day? Probably not, because
I think it does a little
the lights
bit.
are lights. Yeah.
Just focus more on the exposed parts of my extraordinarily pale skin.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
And you'll
And then
see
you'll be able
I'm,
to
I'm
see
bouncing off sun rays.
I actually have realized that once. About when we sit next to each other, how like sometimes the camera does stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's really dangerous to keep the camera on auto white balance.
Yeah,
around
it's
me.
very
All
different
right, it's
if
very
everyone are
dangerous.
next to each other.
Especially when I get a
Basically the
haircut, you see
opposite.
like this is like more than white.
Yeah.
This is like white plus.
One time I did see that.
Luke says he's having eggs on toast for breakfast.
Hell yeah, dude.
Shout out to our
Yeah, get
Australian
that protein.
brother. Jake says that he just
Oh.
had a great handcrafted
Ooh,
PB&J.
nice, dude. I usually have one of those for breakfast. Today I did not.
Wait,
And
did
that's
you just
probably
say
why I'm
you had
hungry.
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for breakfast?
Yeah, so I take 2 pieces of bread, stick them in the toaster,
Uh-huh.
a little
yeah.
peanut butter on both, a little jelly on one, smack them together, boom. Get some toast, get some protein,
Okay.
get some sugar, get some fruit, get mostly sugar.
Yep.
You're ready to face the day. A
I'll
cup
use-
of black coffee to wash it all down,
Oh,
and I'm good to go.
That heart is just.
Right.
I got hot blood. Going through it fast.
And the last part of the answer is no.
Okay. Of course, the Mavericks. No,
That didn't happen. We don't
No,
actually
I
play
mean, I don't
for
know.
the team.
We're going to say that. But
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That was one of the weirdest things when you play for like your high school or whatever team. It's like, oh, we just have to just get in the shower. It's like, they have like the different things. And I was like, this is normal.
We did not have a shower facility in my high school locker room.
It's good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Well,
think
not-
there
maybe
were
not
in the
good.
football, like in the football locker room, but I was just basketball. So.
Oh,
So y'all asses go home and
Put-
take a
yeah,
shower.
put your
You're
clothes
right.
on, go on your merry way.
You're right. The football team usually has that, but yeah, it was like, oh, okay, I guess we're just in here, and yeah,
Nice.
Of course, the Mavericks coming.
our producer's like, shut your mouth now.
Right. It's like, please.
You're getting dangerously close to saying something bad. probably.
Yeah, that's why we're going to stop right there. Mavericks coming off their 8th
Oh,
straight loss last night as they lose 120 to 111 to the Phoenix Suns. Cooper Flagg, 27 points. Naji Marshall, 31 points to lead the effort for Dallas. But as they continue To finish up their pre-All-Star break schedule, they have now fallen 15 games under 500 at 19-34, sitting, 5-6 games out of the final play-in spot in the West. And with one more game before the All-Star break, which will take place tomorrow when your Mavericks take on Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers, the Mavericks will have concluded what has been a rough go to start off the first, 53, 54 games of the season. But there is light at the end of the tunnel in the form of Cooper Flagg, who's had a sensational rookie year so far, had 4 straight 30-point games at one point, has already set the Mavericks rookie record with 49 points in a game this year. The future appears to be bright. But the question is, Bobby Carell, as we go into the rest of the season and into the offseason, what and how should the Mavericks build around their budding superstar?
Yeah, so of course, the future looks very bright with Coop, and you acquired a couple picks and 3 second-rounders, and all of a sudden maybe you're thinking, okay, well, if a player like Giannis becomes available, or our guy Isaac Harris at Locked On Mavs posted about that. I think they had a pod about that yesterday or maybe the day before. Should they go for someone like that this summer and say, hey, man, let's skip the long road. Let's package these picks and some contracts together. You get a PJ and a Gafford and Naji or Max or whatever, and you go out, you get a big-name guy. Now you got your big 3. You got Coop, you got Kyrie, and you got player X, whether that's Giannis or Cat or someone else. I don't believe they should. I think that they should play it slow a little bit. Inevitably, I do think that they will take a swing. Pretty much every team that is trying to win a title makes a big trade to acquire a player. But a few years ago, the Mavs tried to make their swing very early on in the Luka era. They traded 2 future picks and a bunch of expiring money for Kristaps Porzingis and a couple contracts that were at the time considered to be bad. Tim ended up having a decent run with the Mavs. Tim Hardaway Jr., obviously, I'm talking about here. But Luka and KP didn't work. It didn't produce the results that the Mavs were looking for. And then they gave KP this big contract before he played a game for them and had to trade him for bits. Like they just did with AD, in order to rebuild the team around Luka. In the process, Jalen Brunson left. They had to spend more resources to go take their next swing on Kyrie. And at the end of it, yes, they had a finals appearance, but they had no future picks. They had very limited flexibility, and they had to take some pretty extreme measures to break down the team even more a couple years later, which is just what they just did. So I would caution against making early swings. I say you play it safe. I said before, I don't necessarily, as great a player as I think Giannis is, for example, I don't want the Mavs to trade for Giannis. I want the Mavs to be in position to trade for the next Giannis. Whoever that next guy is. In 2 or 3 or 4 years, there will be a 27 or 28-year-old that might want to change teams and is going to be looking down in Dallas thinking, I bet I could win a title with Cooper Flagg. And I want the Mavs to be positioned to get that guy. You always want to be early, not late. And so I'd rather them be in position for when the next thing happens, not try and chase titles from years gone by right now.
Yeah, I think it's too early to take a big swing. I know it might be hard if maybe the value is just too good. I'm not sure where that player lies, because it kind of seems like it's hard to kind of almost fall into a good player unless that player's values maybe low on his current team, maybe because of the contract number. Like I know someone in the comments said Lou Dort or a player like that. Like maybe they're trying to get off money, or Isaiah Hardenstein with the same team. Like unless those type of players are just getting expensive for really good teams, and you're like, hey, we can replace them with young assets. And the Mavs are like, hey, we'll take those kind of players. We don't have to give up future draft capital per se or something like that. Then I can understand a move like that. But I just did on Data Ball, there's some lineup stuff, so you can see what works with Coop the best. One of the better lineups is Coop, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, and Brad Williams off the court. And it's just Coop plus shooters, even if they're not even amazing defenders right now, still a plus 10 net rating. So it's just giving Coop some space to work seems like a good strategy. So I know last offseason that was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, kind of got a chance to sign with the Atlanta Hawks on a decent deal. A player like that I think would really work, with the Mavericks. But even in some lines with B. Will and Max Christie and Coop on with Naji off per se. You have a shot creating point guard, you have a shooter, and then you have a slashing wing in Coop, and that still works. That has a positive net rating. So there's these different configurations of lineups that I think can work around him, but it all comes down to space and foot speed a lot of the time.
The question I would ask would be, what do I have to give up in order to make a move for Giannis? That's why I bring these two gentlemen back in, because that would be my biggest question. What am I giving up in order to make that happen? Because if you're telling me I get to keep my potential top 5 pick and there's a chance I get Giannis, I would listen and figure out what would be the best idea. So let me ask.
Yeah, there's no way that they could get Giannis without giving up that pick, though.
That's what I'm asking. What would be the cost to get him?
Yeah, it would have to be
they would,
pick and stuff.
Because
the thing, I guess it depends, right? Like in any superstar trade, there's always the chance that guy says, trade me there, and the team listens. Now, the last few superstars that have done that, the teams haven't listened.
Yeah.
You know, like Dame.
Miami
wanted to go to Miami, and the Blazers were like, yeah, we will do literally anything other than trade you to Miami. You know, so maybe the Bucks wouldn't play nice. But if Giannis did say, I want to go to Dallas, then you're definitely having to give up the pick this year and probably a bunch of other picks and probably a bunch of contracts. But the issue would be if the Bucks don't do what Giannis would theoretically, hypothetically want, and they say, we're just going to take the best offer. The Mavs do not have stuff to make the best offer. If, 10 other teams are calling them up, the Mavs just don't have it. They don't have the goods. But you're having to get rid of 2026, probably both picks. This would be a draft night trade. So both picks in 2026, Lakers 29, Mavs 31, probably Mavs 33, maybe a swap or two along the way. You're giving up everything.
And if that's the cost, then that's just too high. Then I'm not doing that, because a guy who's had 4 calf injuries in the last 14 months is on the other side of 30 now, and his game being predicated a lot on his ability to utilize his power and his athleticism. What does that begin to look like as he starts to age? That would be too high a cost to acquire someone even as good as Giannis to try to speed up the idea of, making a run toward a championship. The best idea, at least for me, is prudence and patience. You have a long runway with a 19-year-old budding superstar in Cooper Flagg, utilizing your resources patiently and effectively to build a true contender, because you cannot be bad and expensive in today's NBA. The Mavericks have done a good job already of cleaning up their books. They could do further good toward that this summer, depending on if you move on from guys like PJ Washington or others, to really get themselves in a position, not necessarily for this year in free agency, but in 2027 in free agency, or if you do the pre-agency route, finding guys that you would want part of your roster to give you a leg up going into, the 27-28 year, because I think a lot of teams are getting themselves in position, not necessarily for this year's free agency, but really so for 2027, because the list of names that'll be available by the time we get to the end of the 26-27 season, those are names that you want to be in position to start to try and get after potentially.
Yeah, and, you can only trade, so for those that don't know, you can only trade picks as far as 7 years out in the future. So starting this summer, the Mavs will be able to trade their 2033 first-round pick. Now, let's say you trade the 2033 first-round pick for Giannis. Really good chance he will be retired by the time it's your turn to make that pick. I have a very hard time, unless it is such a slam dunk deal, the 33 pick is the only pick you have to trade, then do it. Just do it. Who cares? But I have a really hard time giving up draft picks for guys that are going to be gone either on a different team or out of the league by the time that pick comes around. I want to do this for the long term, right? Now, there's obviously some things that happen. You never know how things are going to work out or whatever, but it was kind of funny when in 2022 the Mavs still owed a pick to the Knicks for KP after they'd already traded KP away. Mm-hmm. And then they have a bad year in 2023, and it's a bummer that they don't have their first-round pick to show for it because they traded for KP and it failed, and then the team kind of stunk for a little bit because they lost Brunson too. Now, if in 2028 or 2029 a dude becomes maybe available, and that guy, let's say, is 25 years old or 27 years old or whatever, and you can trade the Lakers pick, your 31 pick, your 33 pick, and your 35 pick, and swaps along the way. In 2035, maybe that guy's on a different team because that's 7 years from now or whatever, but presumably you would have control over his contract for a long time. Presumably he's not going to be retired by then, and maybe you could stack up a ring or two during that time. Like that is the kind of so I would wait for a couple years before doing anything like that, purely from the number of picks that you have available and also matching the timeline of the guy to the picks that you're sending out. Like if you trade a 2033 pick for Giannis, he's going to be 38 or 39 on draft night. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and he's not a player that you at least would project to age great. Now he still could age great. You know, he's one of the best players of all time. But his game is like purely based on athleticism. It's not like he's, you know, a jump shooter or this extremely, you know, skilled in the traditional way, at least, kind of player. So it's not like maybe 37, 30, like Kevin Durant, he's still kind of doing stuff. Like I don't know if Giannis will have the same career as a Kevin Durant. So I think that would be risky for Giannis. Now, there are other players that I think you should sign, like, you know, the Sadiq Beys and those kind of players just to surround Coop. Like, not amazing players. They've been on multiple teams for a reason, but they have values and they can shoot the ball, they can play defense, or they can do these real tangible things that the Mavs lack. The Mavs have no one on the team right now that can guard point guards. Only Max Christie and only Klay Thompson are the only players that are above average shooters on the whole squad. You just need more shooters. You know, the center position is an interesting one because Daniel Gafford's still on the team. Derek Lava will be back hopefully next season, and Moussa Cisse, might get a contract. So you have 3 possible centers, but who knows how many of these guys stay on the team. Maybe Daniel Gafford's contract is used to obtain, some wing or guard making around that salary. Again, I'd say, maybe Dyson Daniels or Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think they make around that type of money. Those type of players that can maybe kind of give the roster more, like you have more players at other positions outside of big. So.
And on the other side of the break, I'll let you know who some of these 27 free agents are, because I see the questions in chat. Who is the list of free agents going into the 2027 NBA free agency period? And if things hold the way that they are, there are some massive names that will be available at that time. We'll dive into that. Plus, what could other considerations look like as the Mavericks build around some of the individuals that are already here, and what that means for Cooper Flagg as well. All that more coming up next. The day of love is coming up, and there's nothing that I love more than a fantastic meal with my significant other. And Wild Fork Foods wants to help you have the best Valentine's Day meal that you've ever had. They've got delivery options at wildforkfoods.com, and you can also get some fantastic things to be able to prepare for Valentine's Day, including salmon pinwheels with lobster stuffing for $5 a piece. They got beef tenderloin medallions for $10 a piece. They've even got $32 lobster tails and filet mignon to go with it as well. If you're looking for a little dessert, they got $6.98 chocolate lava cake as well. So if you're looking to do a little surf and turf, if you're looking to do some Argentine shrimp with your steak or lobster tails, they've got you covered when it comes to Wild Fork Foods. They got 9 DFW locations. Of course, my favorite is the Wiley location. And if you need delivery options, you can check out wildforkfoods.com and they'll get you covered. Everything is blast frozen, so it's extremely fresh when you get it for the very first time. So check out Wild Fork Foods at wildforkfoods.com, the best meat and seafood market in the game today.
Max Christie, you let me down last night. But that's all right, because Max Christie has already contributed to the Bobby Carella retirement fund several times throughout the season on Prize Picks, where you choose whether between 2 and 6 players will record more or less than their projected stat lines. In basketball, for example, that could be points or rebounds or assists or all 3 combined. 3-pointers made, free throws attempted, dunks, blocks. The world is your oyster. There are so many options, and it's not just basketball too. It's also hockey. Baseball's getting started up. I had a ton of fun on Prize Picks during the NFL season, and I can't wait for that to come back. But it's men's, women's sports, it's pro college sports. Everything is on there. It's a whole lot of fun. So check it out today. And if you want to play along, download Prize Picks. Use promo code DLLS when submitting your first $5 lineup, and your account will be gifted $50 in free lineups to use anytime you choose. Again, promo code DLLS when making your first $5 lineup to get $50 in free lineups to use anytime you like on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast. Appreciate you joining us here on this Wednesday afternoon. You can also download and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast for free. Just search DLLS Mavs, give it a 5-star rating, and write a review for it while you're there. As we continue to discuss how the Mavericks can continue to build around Cooper Flagg, the Mavericks will be back on the floor tomorrow night when they take on Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers. That game will tip off at 9 p.m., which means, Bobby, our pregame will begin at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. You need to get your PB&J and your coffee so you can be good to go for tomorrow
barely
night.
speak. I'm holding back tears right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So make sure you tune in with us tomorrow night. Pregame will be at 8:30 p.m. We will also have our watch along as well for the final game before the All-Star break. So we will have our pregame.
We gonna be able to do that one upstairs, or is John Anderson still hoarding equipment?
I don't know. I'll have to go look.
I got to be on a couch.
He got the Super Bowl flu, he said. So I don't know if he's come back up here yet to deliver the equipment. So it might be down here again.
John Anderson, we're watching you, pal.
And we'll be watching the game right along with you tomorrow night as the Mavericks take on the Lakers. And we'll have our post-game show.
You need to watch that game on the couch.
You need to watch the game on the couch?
I do. We got to be up there.
Either way.
We can carry the couch downstairs.
Or
we just kind of
just
see what
toss it over the balcony.
Yeah.
Wow.
For folks who are asking, we'll say, who are some of the free agents in 2027 that could be available? Now, again, this is if everything holds the way that it is. No contract extensions, no trades, no nothing. But some of the names are going to be available. Check this out. Stephen Curry, somebody by the name of Anthony Davis, Giannis, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, James Harden, Brandon Ingram, and also someone by the name of Kyrie Irving. So those are just some of the names that will be available in the 2027 free agency class.
Really good chance that none of those guys actually hit free agency, though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if things hold the way that they are and there's no contract extensions, no trades, those guys, based on their contracts, would be free agents going into 2027. Others include Rudy Gobert, Michael Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, Tyler Hero, Isaiah Hartenstein.
I would say pretty good chance that a lot of those guys become free agents.
Yeah, that's probably the caliber of player that quote unquote hit free agency nowadays. So even James Harden, who's getting up there in age, been on multiple teams, like forced his way to another team to like literally just not hit free agency because he's like, hey, if I hit free agency, there's not going to be any money left because teams spend all their money usually via trades and taking money to assume draft picks. So basically, the best way to get money is to be traded to a team before free agency. Now, again, if you're a player of that lower tier, then free agency is actually your best bet. You can sign to the mid-level exception. Maybe teams that have a little bit more money can sign you to maybe $20 million deal, but even that's kind of high for free agency. I can't even think. I wonder what's the biggest deal that's been just signed in free agencies throughout. It's probably the Paul George deal, and to be fair, we see how that has landed. So he got a max contract, I think, without it having to be a sign and trade.
And several of those guys, our King makes the point, Curry and Jokic are never leaving their teams. No, I would imagine Stephen Curry and Nikola Jokic will retire as Golden State Warriors and Denver Nuggets. Obviously, someone in James Harden's case, one of the reasons why he wanted to get out of there in Los Angeles because he wanted to find a team that not only was competing now, but also could pay him again. And the Cleveland Cavaliers would be in a position to offer him a contract extension again, so he can get some more money. So, but this is what a lot of these teams are thinking about. Not necessarily this free agency period where you'll see like Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and some of the other names, but they're looking toward the 2027 free agency period where all those big names will be available. But other considerations based on what this team has right now would be discussed, namely, and we'll talk about him more in our next segment, guys like Naji Marshall, Max Christie, and others who could be looking for contract extensions. And how does that figure into the Mavericks plan and building around Cooper Flagg while still having the assets that they have from a potential top 5 pick, other first-round picks that they have? There are other guys that are potentially due contract extensions that could be looking to do so as well. You have to figure that in when thinking about building around Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, but any trade that you would make this summer would probably involve one or both of those guys. Like if they were to do one of those all-in things, that's Max on a $7 million deal and Naji on an $8 million deal are 2 of your most valuable contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Coop is obviously the most by far. And then it's probably those two guys. So you would have to,
one of those guys would be gone essentially.
Yeah, or both. I mean, if you're trading for a guy that makes $50 million, you got to match it. I mean, you're stacking them together for sure.
So one of the interesting ones, and we'll bring this up, does PJ Washington fit in the future of the Dallas Mavericks based off of the contract that he has? Obviously, has not had a great year for this team. Does he fit the future of what this team looks like with Cooper Flagg on it?
I mean, they played 649 minutes together, they have a minus 9.3 net rating. And then PJ, just without Coop on the court, is a minus 7 net rating in 449 minutes. Cooper without PJ Washington is a negative 1 net rating, but like overall, like that's a 8 net rating kind of switch between Cooper playing with PJ or just without him, period. It doesn't matter who else is on the floor. Yeah, not great. The defensive rating with them both on the court is 117, while the offense is only 108. It's just, they haven't been good this year. It doesn't mean it can't maybe happen in the future. The problem is like PJ Washington's at a very just interesting stage, kind of where his career is and his play style. He fits with certain players, like, lead ball handlers, as we saw in that run. But his value maybe next to another forward that's a star, I'm not sure is as valuable.
Yeah, I just don't think so stylistically. Like right now, the Mavs' whole offense is basically just and I'm not like, this is not a bad thing. This is what it is. Everyone stands around, passes it to each other until one of them gets a driving lane, and then they just battering ram their way into the lane. Mm-hmm. And it's brute force, and it's dirty and it's muddy and it's sweaty and bloody and gross, but it works, for guys like Naji, works for Coop, works for Brandon Williams, players that are either very quick or very strong on the ball with finishing ability and touch around the rim. PJ's none of those things. He doesn't have ball security. He really struggles to pass. He struggles to take care of the ball in transition. Dallas wants to get out and run. Like, all of the things that the Mavs want to do stylistically don't really fit his best skill set. His best skill set, to me, is supporting a ball-dominant guy like the way he did with Luka, being a spot-up threat that can attack simple closeouts with straight-line drives. There's nothing too complicated about it. There's nothing too wild. And then as this four, this kind of like tweener four that can defend up or down, in a defensively kind of flexible lineup. And the Mavs do have a lot of switchable players now, but they kind of want Coop being that guy now and not PJ. And so I just think that defensively is a little redundant, and offensively I think it's kind of a weird fit. That isn't to say it's going to be forever. Maybe the Mavs get a new coaching staff next year, or a new assistant, whatever. They kind of reinvent the system a little bit once Kyrie comes back. Like, anything is possible, but yeah, right now I think it's not a good fit.
This team has struggled to score in the half court a lot of the time this year. Mm-hmm. They've obviously been really good in transition, but at the same time, they've got to be able to get not only better shooters, but also more quality spacing around Cooper Flagg. And PJ, unfortunately, doesn't shoot the ball from three as consistently as you would like to in order to give you some of that, ability to spread the floor, even with the multifaceted nature of his game that we've seen at times for him being kind of a Swiss Army knife type of player. But at the same time, there's a lot of consideration for what this team is building around, but they've done the hardest part, which is to get the talented young superstar who's on the ascent. And now the question will be for Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley, not only for the rest of the year, but whomever becomes the permanent GM on this team.
Sheldon with a big old one.
Yeah. Sheldon with the 1999 super chat. If we are giving up everything, it has to be for a younger player that pairs well with Cooper now and in the future. Anthony Edwards meets the criteria.
Oh!
Pair him with Cooper, Kyrie, Lively, need the number one pick to pull it off.
Dude, Ant and Coop would be nasty together.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
I love Anthony Edwards in Dallas
for
God. All the right reasons of good basketball fit, good content fit.
A great basketball fit.
Like
that team would be mean and nasty.
Yeah. Hyper athletic.
And I would just build a team around those two. Like anyone, I mean, you would probably, I guess, like I actually wouldn't even care who else was on the team after that point. Like you just build around those two guys, find what works. Hopefully it's not into a very long contract extension.
I think Ant's the kind of guy that likes having his own team. Though,
Agreed.
Agreed.
He's an alpha male. He wants to have his own squad. Plus, it would
respect to that guy.
Yeah. Plus, it would take the world to go get Anthony Edwards.
I don't think he's tradable.
Yeah, like they would have to.
Yeah.
Well, every player has
clearly
price,
not everybody's tradable.
But I mean, you give up. In this case, it would be, let's say they win the lottery or they move up. You're giving up a top 4 pick, 3 future first, a pick swap or 2, probably Lively, Christie, and Naji, and PJ.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know.
You're giving up.
Minnesota probably still says no.
That's the idea. They would still probably say
unless
no.
Ant's like, get me out of here. But
now if he requests out, then yes. But right now he hasn't requested.
What will be interesting though is to see is like personality wise, does Coop sort of like develop that same sort of Ant, like alpha, this is my team kind of personality, or like, for example, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they exist very well, seemingly very well together in Boston. Jason Tatum is like considered to be the better player by some people, but Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP. Yeah. And they are fantastic. You know, will Coop be the kind of player that is amenable to another one of those top dogs, or is it kind of like no, you need to fall in line? You know, and that'll be really interesting to see.
Matthew Hooks with a $1.99 super chat. Every player not named Cooper Flagg is tradable. Period.
Except for Kyrie Irving and Max Christie.
Thank you, Matthew Hooks. 8283.
Well, okay, Matthew, and let me know in the chat too. Is every player not named Cooper Flagg, does that include their lottery pick that's coming in a couple months? Are you holding on to that, or are you saying even that is tradable? I think that was in that was centered around the time we're talking about Giannis.
I guess. Again, I wouldn't, if they, like I say, let's say it's the top 2 pick in the draft or whatever. I wouldn't trade that pick for like, I mean, it would have to be probably Ant.
I mean, if the Mavericks get
Wemby,
if they get the number 1 or number 2 pick and they have Cooper Flagg on the roster, those are the 2 most untouchable assets on this team. Look, I've set a very, very high bar when it comes to who is untouchable in this league, and particularly for this team. To me, Cooper Flagg is the only pure untouchable on this roster. I would listen if someone come calling on Kyrie Irving. I would listen. I wouldn't do it necessarily, but I would definitely listen, which to me puts him in the idea that he could be, you know, I would move him for the right deal.
Sheldon says, I'm not saying it's possible, just saying that's the kind of player you give the God offer for.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Oh, yeah,
respect.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like 2 or 3 years from now, I could actually see if Minnesota doesn't win, I could actually see something happen. But
if you request out.
Okay, they got real questions. They got to answer going into this offseason with their financial situation.
Someone in chat asked, is Paolo the kind of guy you would do that for? And I say no. I say no. Now, obviously, Paolo could develop his game, but I'm trying to think of other players that are of that same age, like OKC Jalen Williams. I think that, like
I wouldn't trade the number 1 pick of Jalen Williams.
Well, I wouldn't trade the number 1 pick, but I'm saying 2 or 3 years from now, what is the kind of player that I would be like, okay, it's time to make a big swing for? You know, I could see Jalen Williams being a guy like that. I'm not saying that he'd be available, but like that caliber of player, like bona fide, we're talking all-star, all-NBA caliber player that is still going to be like 25, 26 years old, to go along with like obviously players like Ant, but like 2 years from now, Brunson, probably not. He's going to be 32 or 33 or something. Jalen's already Jalen's older than you think he is, because he was a 3-year college player.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like,
who's under 25? Like, obviously Anthony Edwards is one of those guys.
Wemby.
I mean, obviously Wemby.
Yes, I would happily do that.
Yeah.
Stephon Castle. I mean,
Castle's fun. I don't know if he would trade like a top.
I bet
pick
the Spurs probably want to build the house around Castle and Wemby, though. Like, I think that's going to be their duo. I mean, I'm trying to think of like,
you would have to look at the under 25, young stars to budding superstars. There's not a lot of them that are out there that you. I mean,
is Cade 25?
Cade, sure, but I don't know if that's a good fit with Coop, to be honest.
It might not be. He's kind of heliocentric.
I mean, someone like Brandon Miller, like, no. I'm not making an all-in trade for Brandon Miller.
No. You have to give the Mavs some mellow ball, then.
Yeah. Now, Amin Thompson.
It's the bet.
Amin Thompson?
Like, Amin, yes. Asar, probably no.
Yeah, Amin's good, but I wouldn't trade a top pick for Amin Thompson either. Like, I love Amin Thompson.
Think 2-3 years from now, if he keeps developing. Like,
I know, but like
Amin
he's
has
still
like top 5 player in the league potential.
But someone told me Amin Thompson is just like broke man Ben Simmons. Like,
okay, well that person
he's not better than Ben.
Not good at.
He's not better than Ben. Ben Simmons was first team. Was like a top All NBA player.
I would caution against speaking to that person again.
Yeah, because.
I mean, Ben Simmons was better than he is right now. Like, maybe he develops better than Ben.
I mean, Amin Thompson's got true.
Ben Simmons was an All-NBA player. It's not like an opinion that we're giving. Like, one is an All-NBA player, one isn't. One is an All-NBA, one is not an All-Star. Like, it's not like it's a toss-up.
Amin Thompson's going to be a multi-time.
Like, we can't compare him to someone that was like an All-NBA player.
He's going to be a multi-time All-Star and a guy that's going to win at some point a Defensive Player of the Year. I know Wemby's in this league, but Amin Thompson's going to win a DPOY one year. He's that good. Hey. You never know.
And the year Ben Simmons, by the way, made All-NBA third team, he played 57 games. That was in 2019-20. He would not
even
eligible to win that
qualify
award now.
for that.
But if Amin Thompson played 70 games, he's not going to qualify for All-NBA this season. He played 82 games this season. He still won't qualify for All-NBA.
Sure, yeah, but I'm talking 2 or 3
yeah,
years
2-3
from now.
years from now,
He's
yeah.
like 21 right now.
Yeah.
But like
Well, he just turned 23. Sorry.
When we come back, we'll talk more. We'll talk about Naji Marshall. We're going to talk
We
about
have to talk about Naji.
Marshall.
We have to. Do it for Ron.
And we'll do that next. But first, we want you to become part of our DLLS Sports family. The easiest way that you can do that is to like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports. Join the over 40,100 subscribers already part of our family. The next way that you can do that is to scan that QR code that you see on your screen, or you can visit alldlls.com to become a diehard member. When you do, you get a free t-shirt upon sign up. You also get access to our member-only Discord and access to all of our premium content, including our guy Ron Harrod Jr. covering your Dallas Mavericks, Sam Nestler and Sean Shapiro covering your Dallas Stars, Jeff Wilson covering your Texas Rangers, where he is in Surprise, Arizona right now, covering your Rangers, who just re-signed 2023 World Series hero Jordan Montgomery. He's all over that, is our guy, Jeff Wilson. And, of course, the greatest beat writer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, Clarence E. Hill Jr. covering America's team. We've got tremendous access to all of our events as well. You get 20% off our events when it comes to us here at DLLS Sports. And you can check out our brand new t-shirt that we've got available right now at store.allcitynetwork.com, where we pledge allegiance to the flag as Rookie of the Year favorite Cooper Flagg continues his sensational year. We've got 2 brand new t-shirts celebrating the former Duke Blue Devil and #1 overall pick. By pledging allegiance to the flag, you can visit store.allcitynetwork.com to check that out right now and become part of our DLLS Sports family. I appreciate you doing that. And make sure you download and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast for free. Just search DLLS Mavs, give it a 5-star rating, and write a review for it while you're there. As we continue here on our show, opinions getting hot in the chat.
Hot sports opinion.
That's right. With discussing the idea how the Mavericks should build around Cooper Flagg. Kent says, talk about selling high. That's Naji Marshall. Just saying.
Oh?
That gets us to our guy, Ron Harrod Jr., who had a chance to sit down with the former Xavier product, who's having a career year for the Dallas Mavericks. In fact, came off a 31-point effort last night to try to help the Mavericks storm back from a 31-point deficit, nearly doing it against the Phoenix Suns. But Ron, this is a young man who has gone from fighting for two-way to now becoming a real key member of this Dallas Mavericks team.
Yeah, I mean, not only did, Naji Marshall fight for like a 2-way contract, the man like almost just did not play basketball in high school because of his academics. He had to essentially transfer from his freshman year to his sophomore year to a different school because he struggled at this, private institution that he was at. He had to kind of transfer to his local public school, and that's where he, got a chance to find his coach, Brendan O'Connell, who kind of, helped, Naji kind of, I guess, just quote unquote get his life in order. Really, he said Naji did a lot of the work himself, and his mom did a lot to get himself in, good academic standing. He ended up having to do a 5th year of high school just to make sure his academics were right to go D1. That's where he went to Xavier. Was on, a loaded Xavier team. Eventually, by year 3, became one of the best players. And then we see kind of how his journey has developed in the NBA from 2-way to standard contract to the Mavs kind of really find the steal of like one of the free agent classes in Naji Marshall to now essentially with Cooper Flagg and Naji Marshall off the court over 200 minutes, they're minus 15, which basically means that if one of them is off, like they have to at least have one of them on the court almost at all times, or the team just completely like falls over. Like one of them has to be on the court almost all the time, or the offense is just putrid. They have 103 offensive rating with neither Naji Marshall and Cooper Flagg on the court. It's one of the worst offenses in the NBA if one of your top shot creators is on the court. Now, eventually when Kyrie Irving comes back, things might change a little bit with some of those lineups. But Naji Marshall's literally worked himself up to like maybe not even be able to like play college basketball. So now being one of the most valuable offensive players on not a great team, but still an NBA team at the end of the day.
Oh, that shit had more. I was waiting on more from me. But no, he's, as you can see, averaging over 17 points per game as a starter, shooting over 54% from the field, giving you 3.5 assists per contest, and really become one of the heart and soul members of this team. A player who's become a fan favorite, obviously, for the Dallas Mavericks, but most importantly, has carved out a real future on this team. Obviously, we're moving toward the NBA trade deadline. Were there ideas that he could have been moved? Obviously, the Mavericks set a high threshold for him to be moved if he was going to get traded. Obviously, teams did not meet that. And as our guy Mark Stein has talked about, the Mavericks don't want to trade or move on from a Naji Marshall, but this is a player who's on a terrific contract. He's in the second year of a 3-year, $27 million deal. He's going to be making $9 million next year. Obviously, someone who could be really waiting for a contract extension because he has played himself into the kind of player that not only is a fit around Cooper Flagg, where Matt Riccardi said recently it's a perfect fit for Naji Marshall and Max Christie to be around Cooper Flagg, but also someone that Cooper's learned from, obviously, to become a real part of this team here.
And he checks all the boxes. You know, there's so many things about him that make him fun to root for. Number 1, cool name. Number 2, great nickname. All right. Number 3, has some interesting and unique traits about him that make watching him memorable. He's got a really good floater. That's just kind of a thing that he's got. He kind of dribbles it interestingly, and he mostly lays it up. He doesn't dunk very often.
He stands like up straight.
Yeah,
while
he's got an interesting gait.
I think they call him a drunken monkey on the Morris Twins.
Yeah, well, I would never call him that. Well, I just want to get out there and say that. I'm going to continue calling him the Knife. All right. Now, I think he's a really good poster. Okay, his tweets are really funny.
He's funny.
He is pretty fire on the court and will get in fights, which I think is awesome too. He's a great quote, and in that article that we can read right now on alldlls.com, there's a lot of good quotes in there, dude. I mean, he'll throw an MFer around, and like he's awesome.
Yeah, I think like for Mavs fans, like he has like 3 really good quotes. We'll just read them since we're here. So Naji had told me that he wasn't worried about the trade noise. He's like, I'm an NBA player, I'm gonna figure it out. So I asked him, like, hey, like, what about like Dallas? Like, what do you just feel about just staying in the city of Dallas? He said, I love the city. I love the team, the coaches, and the front office. They accepted me with open arms, and they're so blessed to be in the city. Then he followed up kind of talking about his relationship with Cooper Flagg, who he called his dog. But he says, I want to play with Cooper Flagg my whole blank career. That's my dog, and he's going to create history, and to be a part of that would be unbelievable. So he wants to stay with Cooper Flagg. He loves Max Christie. Called Max Christie his Uda. I said, what does that mean, Naji? I mean, I thought I would get all of his slang. We're from the same place. Uda is short for shooter, and that's short for shooter. So it's like, oh, okay. I get it. Max Christie's your shooter. He said yes. Or his Uda.
Is it really short? Like, okay, as the king of shortening words,
like Uda, he said take the sh off shooter. That's what he did.
Like, is it easy? Is it easier to say?
I literally think he just made that up.
Okay. Well, that's another reason I love
think
him.
like literally Naji makes things up.
Dude, if he's an abbrev guy, that is another reason to like him.
Did you just really do that?
Yes. He claimed that as his thing.
Yes.
Did you say abbrev?
Yeah.
He shortened abbreviation.
I abbreviated abbreviation to abbrev. I think that
Kevin's disgusted.
Dude, Naji is awesome, man. And like,
he has a great quote. He's a fun guy.
And he's also the kind of guy that like he's gonna score 26 on you, and the fans of the other team are gonna be like, dude, what is
Who
happening?
is this guy?
Yeah. JJ Barea was that guy for the Mavs for a long time.
How does he keep making that damn floater every time?
He'd come in and get like 10 points and 4 assists in a quarter, and the opposing fan base just melting down. Like, what is happening? You know?
Why can't anyone guard him? But he plays like so unorthodox. Like, I don't really
that's a great word.
know another player that like he's again who runs the court standing up. He's like a 6. What is he?
6'6",
like 6'6".
Yeah.
And like he shoots like a lot of floaters. Like usually those type of players like above the rim players, but he's not really that type of guy. He told me that he basically got that floater because he used to watch a lot of Tony Parker. He said, how can I implement that in my game? And that's kind of where the floater kind of happened when he was like early, middle school, high school. And I think just to end the quote, the kind of one of his best things, I think this quote we ended the story with, I think, just describes Naji Marshall as a complete person. He says, I don't view myself as a celebrity. I just view myself as a person who's just chasing their dreams, and I just want to motivate people. I'm not bigger than the program. I'm not bigger than nobody.
Oh, my God.
And that right there
Naji
is
Marshall,
the knife.
I love you.
Like, that quote just feels like everything we know about Naji Marshall, that one quote represents. And I thought it was very important to include that just because it was just so authentic to kind of who his character. Like a lot of people say that like PR wise, like, oh, I'm not bigger than the team. Like he's that guy. They say, hey, play point guard. All right. Play power forward. All right. Play small forward. All right. Like lead the offense. All right. Like guard the team's best player. All right. Like anything Jason Kidd has ever asked him to do on this team, he's done. He came off the bench his first year. It doesn't matter what he's kind of asked to do. He's just done it. And I think every player in the locker room loves Naji Marshall. He pushes everyone to be a better player. And that's kind of like what you want out of kind of your role players. Like, okay, do other players like you? And do you make everyone else, like, at least make them feel like they're bigger than what they are? I think he does that.
Yeah, Naji is the kind of player that you want on your team, someone who understands a role and is willing to do anything and everything to help his team win. And in that vein, you can use 12 guys like a Naji Marshall on your squad to be able to understand what they need to do to help the team, doesn't have an ego, and just wants to help the team be better night in and night out. And he's become, obviously, a fan favorite here in Dallas with his abilities on the floor, his personality off the floor, is willing to engage with others on social media at times as well. Naji Marshall is the kind of guy that every organization would love to have, and we're fortunate to have Naji Marshall here.
And lastly, too, I saw someone in the comments say Saddiq Bey would fit good with Coop. Saddiq Bey and Naji Marshall play for also the same AAU team. They're from the same area in the DMV, so they also probably, if I had to guess, are close, I would assume, or even if they're not close, they've known each other since they were children, literally. So, I mean, just saying, if Naji Marshall maybe fits well with Coop, maybe so does Saddiq Bey.
Yeah, Naji, as I understand it, would be based off of his contract, where he's going into next year as an expiring deal, would be eligible for an extension this summer. So, interesting to see what the Mavs will do with that. Let's take our final break here on the DLS Mavs podcast. When we come back, it's Trivia Wednesday. The Corrals are going to take us to some Mavericks history with some trivia. We'll do that next.
But first, KG told you a little bit about. Oh my God,
it's all right.
It's okay.
But
it's
first,
right. We're here for you.
KG told you a little bit about the Die Hard program. It's awesome. Scan the QR code, go to our website, alldlls.com, and you too can sign up to become a Die Hard. When you do, again, you get to read these articles, so you'll be more literate than me, and you'll be able to say a little bit about real quick. I got to practice that one in the mirror 1,000 times. We also have a supporters club. It's part of the YouTube membership program, so it's $5 a month. It's true sicko level stuff. You get a little badge next to your name in the chat. You get access to a bunch of emojis. You also get an extra video every single month. It is another way to support us. We ask you for a lot. Hey, I know that we do, but hopefully we give you a place to hang out. We give you a place to vibe because it supports over everything here at ALLCITY. And nothing makes us happier than hanging out with the chat. Even when there's arguments, even when there's debates, even when there's whatever, it is a blast hanging out with you each and every day here on YouTube.
We love hanging out with you.
Specifically.
Especially when you spend money. No, I'm just joking.
Absolutely when you spend
that's
money.
That's right. Sad that Sheldon Fennell comes back in
Shelly
with the $9.99
Super chat Sheldon.
Who's the better player fit with this team going forward, Naji or Andrew Nembhard?
Ooh.
Mavs should package Naji and PJ for Nembhard if he's the better fit. He has a good contract too.
That's actually, you know what? That's actually a relatively interesting trade.
That's a tough
Because
question.
I feel like the Pacers actually would consider that type of move, like Naji and PJ for Nembhard.
Nembhard is their guy.
You think he's that? Like, okay.
Nembhard is the kind of player that Rick loves. Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle loves the feisty, undersized off guard.
This is true.
Yeah,
Like that is like his number one player archetype that he loves. But I don't know. I feel like the Mavs would, if they traded. So in this scenario, if they were to trade Naji for Nembhard, it feels like they would miss Naji's driving and his paint presence. Like Nembhard will, size guys up, work his way into the mid range, but he doesn't get all the way into the lane, whereas Naji does. And I feel like they'd miss that. I feel like if you just add Nembhard to this team, it's great. But if you replace Naji with Nembhard, then you're adding stuff, but you're also losing some qualities, and I feel like they'd notice that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'd be interesting. I think that trade would depend on where the Pacers fall. If the Pacers fall where they draft a guard,
well, let's say the Pacers get Darren Peterson,
then Nembhard might become like Again, I think they would still want Nembhard because the team would just be even better. But let's say, you know what? Let's get some more size in here. You had Naji, big wing, and PJ is like a big, slash wing. Be a relatively good fit for that team. I didn't go small with like Siakam and PJ, like kind of as the two semi-bigs on the floor. I'm not against it.
A backcourt depth of Darren Peterson, Tyrese Halliburton, and Andrew Nembhard is pretty damn good. And if I was the Pacers, I probably wouldn't move Andrew Nembhard because I would have real quality coming off my bench if they were able to land the number 1 pick. By the way, their chances of landing that number 1 pick dropped down to 44%.
That's high.
Or, excuse me, their ability to keep the top 4 pick, dropped down.
Man, they didn't cheated already.
Dropped down to 44% after they beat the Knicks last night in overtime on the road. So, costly win in some respect for the Indiana Pacers. It's time for some trivia with the Career Illustrator.
Trivia.
That's right. It is time for Trivia Tuesday here. As always, it's 5 questions. As always, you play along in the chat. And as always, no cheating. If you cheat, I will know. I will find out. I am monitoring every single one of your screens right now, okay, and your phones.
Trivia
I have
Tuesday
access to
on
all of
Wednesday.
that stuff. I own Ring cameras, all right? I know what's going on in your life better than you do.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So in the spirit of tomorrow's showdown against the LA Lakers,
Oh, wow.
all of these questions are Mavs-Lakers themed.
Okay.
All right, let's start. Who led the Mavericks in scoring the last time they played the Lakers?
Naji Marshall.
This is in Dallas. It was.
Yeah. I'm going
Ron
Naji.
guesses Naji.
I was
Okay.
guessing Naji.
How can I not remember that game? It was like 2 weeks
I
ago.
know.
I know,
it's-
right?
I was.
Well,
there,
KG
right?
was in his Lucas suite, so he was distracted. But
Touche. I'm
um,
going to say Brandon Williams.
Okay.
Okay.
Klay Thompson.
Okay, 3 different answers. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
We have an AD guess. That is a good guess, but no. Gokujin guesses Luka. Wrong team, but close. Max guess and Naji guess.
Christie.
Luke Byrne is the ball knower for round 1. It was
Ah.
Max Christie with 24 points. Brandon Williams had 20 off the bench. He was the
Okay.
number 2 leader.
I
Naji
remember
must
like
have
that
struggled
third
that
quarter,
game.
he went smooth off in that third quarter.
Yeah, he was big in the second half, but
Yeah.
Max was the top dog that night with 24 points. All right, that was a good little warm up. We feeling
Yeah,
good?
Yep.
All right,
Ready
number
to
2.
go.
This one I think is a good one. True or false? Kevin Gray was the one who cried in the Lucas suite. True or false?
I guess I have to recuse myself from this question.
I'm going true.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Tanner?
I'll go false. I don't think
Tanner's
so.
going all right. More opinion
I
diversity.
think it
love
was
that.
it was Kirk. It was definitely Kirk.
Oh, it was Kirk's serious face?
Yeah.
It was Kirk's sob face? All right, we'll give Chad a couple seconds to get their guesses in.
Maybe it was one wasn't like some like the Mavs fan page.
What if Tim
runners in there?
McMahon
Yeah.
was the one who cried?
Yeah, Tim was just overcome with emotion. We
Well,
got a
he
lot of
blamed it on
truths. We
somebody
got a
else.
lot of truths
Let
in
me
the
tell you
chat.
something right now.
A lot of truths.
Tim McMahon will never cry at the sight of Luka Doncic.
No.
Never.
No.
No, trust me, never.
The
Never say
correct
never.
answer,
Yeah, no.
unfortunately, is false. I'm sorry, Chad.
Unfortunately.
Kevin Gray was not the crier. Okay.
I was not. And to be quite honest, and I love my guy McMahon, at least no one that was around me was crying when they met Luka. Now, I don't
Crying
know
is-
if that may have happened off to the side or whatever, but every person that I was around at the time, no one had tears in their eyes. So maybe they got
Sounds
tears
like
in
something that the crier would say.
Yeah.
I'm not-
No one else was.
I didn't get
I
hacked.
definitely wasn't either.
I wasn't hacked. But yeah, so maybe they cried when they got the news that they were going to have the chance to do that.
Oh,
but-
you know what? Yeah, maybe it was
Yeah,
that.
but
Everyone should have cried. Wow.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would make more sense if it was when they got the news.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
I may or may not wear my Luka 5s tomorrow. We'll
Oh, wow.
see.
All right, let's crank it up to medium high.
To 11.
All right,
Okay.
we're getting some
Did you
we're
say
getting
to
some
11?
heat on this stove. In the Mavs' 2011 series sweep
let's
against the
go.
Lakers,
It's my era.
Dirk was the only Maverick to score at least 100 points in that series. Jason Terry
Dang it.
scored 79. Who on the Mavericks finished with the third most points in that series? Total and per game, I guess. But who had the third most points?
Hold on. So in a 4-game
Tanner says
series,
Peja, okay.
in a 4-game series, Dirk was the only one to cross the 100-point barrier.
For the Mavs, yeah. Because in 4 games, you got to average
No, I'm just
25
saying,
a game, yeah.
Whew, wow.
25 a game is a lot.
Brea?
Okay, we got a JJ guess.
That's
We
a
got a
good choice.
Peja guess.
Peja didn't miss a 3 that last game, so that's what's
He was 6 for 6. Jet was 9 for 10.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Off the bench, the Mavs, those two guys, 15 for 16. That was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life.
You felt things that
like
series.
Andrew freaking
I'll go with Peja.
I felt things in various parts of my life.
I'll go with Tanner. Sound real confident in his answer. I'll go with.
All right, we got a Peja guess. We got a Sean Marion.
Sean,
We got a lot
the
of Peja. We
Matrix.
got a lot of JJ.
JJ
of course,
Barea is
did-
a good guess. That's
Yeah.
that's a really good
JJ
That's
guess.
one of
carved
the
him up
best
pretty
nicknames.
good.
The
Barea
Matrix.
did
That's such a
carve
good
up the
nickname.
Lakers, which is why he got smacked in the face by Ron Artest and pushed by Andrew
Sean
Bynum.
Stevenson there.
All right, we'll give
I mean,
another couple
If this is
seconds.
Sean Stevenson,
I
I'm gonna
love
be
the
like,
Sean
wow.
Stevenson.
I'm just gonna be like, wow.
Can I
this
say
is
the
Sean.
shirt?
I
he
don't
was
remember
wearing?
going off.
That shirt was awesome.
The correct answer. Ooh, Corey Brewer. That's a good guess. The correct answer is Peja Stojakovic.
Nice
Woo!
job,
Yeah,
Tanner.
Peja scored 50 points. JJ added 46. Sean Marion scored 34. Jason Kidd with 31. Tyson Chandler with 30. So pretty low scoring series. The Mavs as a team averaged just over 102 points per game. But do not confuse that with poor offense. The Mavs had a 116 offensive rating in that series, which at the time was unbelievable.
I mean, that
Unbelievable.
Mother's Day game probably really helped.
They had real floor spacing on that team.
Yes.
Like, that was a lot of floor
It
The
was
spacing.
Lakers
funny 'cause-
defense was not able to handle defending a corner three. Like
Yeah.
JJ destroyed that team.
Peja was so good in that series, and then he kind of became unplayable later on in the
Against OKC,
finals
yeah.
run.
Played game
yeah.
1 and that was it.
Yeah, and
that
then the
was it.
Heat. I don't know if he played like at all versus the Heat.
No.
Yeah, they had a lot of shooting outside of him too.
What's Peja Stojakovic up to these days? Doesn't he have like a kid or something who's really good?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he said
I believe
Cal.
he's- yeah.
Yeah, he's got a son that's really
Ooh,
good. and can
nice.
He's
play.
a sophomore, I think. He's like 6'9" or something crazy
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
All right, we're all the way on high now. This water is boiling.
All right.
Okay. The 1988 Western Conference
Oh, wow,
Finals
okay.
went 7 games.
Oh, let me
Okay,
think.
between the Mavs and the Lakers, obviously. Within 10, how many 3-pointers did the Mavericks attempt in that entire series? 7 games in 1988. Within
I'm
10,
going.
How many threes did they attempt?
6.
6 threes attempted for an entire series.
I love that guess.
One below the game. Number of games.
All right, okay.
Uh,
I'll say 20.
20, okay.
the whole series.
That's about 3 a game.
Yeah.
He's like, Tanner's like, it has to be like.
I mean, for a 7-game series, 40.
40, okay, so that's about 6 a game.
We have some big guesses. Like, so somebody's gonna really win this
Yeah.
or lose this.
We basically have a
170.
$1 guess. All right, 16, 3,
Maybe
7.
that's 17.
170, my
I think
God.
he must have made. I think he meant 17.
25, 27. Okay. All right, we'll give another couple seconds.
3. Okay, 3 is if it's that low.
3 all buzzer beaters. Yes, just all half-court heaves. The correct answer is 48. Tanner gets it again.
It was almost.
I
said
almost
50.
had that. So it's a lot higher than
48.
that. I underestimated them.
48. The
I
Mavs
underestimated
attempted
them.
about 7 a game. They made 15 out of 48, so about 33%.
Actually, not bad.
The Lakers took 47. They made 21 out of 47 threes.
Oh, wow.
They were shooting that bad boy in
Yeah.
98.
Yeah,
Lone Star
Michael
Rob.
Cooper went 10 for 20
Oh,
in
my
that
God.
series.
Lone Star Rob.
Shit.
Did he get that
Rob.
after the buzzer?
47 Lone Star Rob, dude.
He was close.
Congrats, Lone Star Rob.
Wow.
You won a wave from me.
That's priceless. That's priceless.
Everyone has to get that.
All right, the last question. This is a tough one.
All right.
I would not get this one. All right. 0% chance I'd get this one. Mark Aguirre holds the Mavs franchise record for points in a game against the Lakers. Now, this is only regular season. Okay. He scored 42. Only 3 other Mavericks ever have scored more than 35 points in a game against the Lakers. I'm going to ask you to name them, but here's a big hint. Neither Luka nor Dirk are on the list.
Well, Cooper.
No.
I thought he had
Scored
Luka
more
and
than
Dirk never scored more
35
than
against the
35
Lakers.
points in the game against the Lakers?
Luka and Dirk both scored exactly 35
Oh, that was against
against
the
the
Lakers.
Lakers, but never more. Never
I
more.
can't remember. We've talked about this game a lot. It's come up in trivia a couple times. Was Christian Wood one, or was he?
That is a great guess, but no, he is not one.
What was he? He was at like 30.
He did
right?
something big against the Lakers, but yeah, I think it was 33 and 18 or something.
Blackman?
Ro Blackman is one of them.
Okay, there you go.
Jet.
All right.
No, Jason Terry did not do it.
Josh Howard.
Did not do it.
Finley?
Michael
good
Finley,
guess.
no. Kent Ketchum with the Jamal Mashburn guess. That's a good guess, but no.
Jim Jackson.
Oh, I was
No.
gonna, yeah.
This is so
We
random.
got one. We got
30
Rowe.
plus. Oh, Monty Ellis.
No, that's a good guess, but no.
So we only got one in Ro Blackman so far.
And OJ
Tim Hardaway
Mayo's
Jr.?
not one of them. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not one of them.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving is one
Oh,
of them.
Kyrie.
yeah.
Kyrie,
Okay.
yeah, right.
Kyrie, I believe his was 36 on, so he beat it by one. The last one, if anyone guesses this, if any of you MFers in chat get it right, I will know that you cheated. I will know that you cheated.
Trey Burke.
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of randos
More
now.
obscure.
More obscure.
Sean Bradley.
Way more obscure.
Is this someone we like?
James
know?
Donaldson.
Like we know who it is.
I have mentioned this
OJ
person's
Mayo.
I have mentioned this person's name on the stream before. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have.
Dan.
Yogi
No.
Ferrell.
No way.
All right,
Keith Van Horn?
David Lee.
The correct
Oh, David
answer.
Lee.
The correct answer is Doug Smith.
Oh, no, I wasn't guessing that.
Doug
Who the hell is
Smith?
Doug
Who is
Smith?
that?
I was
Wow,
not
this
guessing
is
that.
Doug Smith erasure. What?
I think
Doug
I remember
Smith?
Bobby saying that name, but it's no way I'm guessing that.
I can't believe that y'all are just
When did he play for the Mavs?
y'all don't even know who Doug Smith is. Doug Smith played for the Mavs in the 90s. In March 24th, 1994, he scored 36 points in a Mavs 112-109 loss to the Lakers in Dallas.
Only maybe
So no one has
Stein
ever
would know
cleared
that.
40 against the Lakers in a regular season game?
Mark Aguirre scored
Is that
42.
maybe he's the only one?
Doug
Yeah.
Smith was the 6th overall pick in the 1991 NBA draft. The Mavs took him one spot behind Steve Smith, one spot ahead of Luke Longley.
Somebody say you making stuff
Oh, wow.
up? Question mark.
I'm not making
You
anything
making stuff
up.
up?
Who went
Learn your history, folks.
Who went number one in 91?
So that was the UNLV draft. So Larry Johnson went number one.
Okay.
Kenny Anderson number 2, Billy Owens, Dikembe, Steve Smith, Doug Smith,
Wow.
Luke Longley, Mark Macon, Stacey Augman, and then
Wow.
Bison Daly, Terrell Brandon, Greg
Doug
Anthony,
Smith.
Dale Davis.
Greg Anthony was good.
That rounds up a
broadcast.
lot.
Good role player draft.
Yeah, great role player. Yeah.
I mean, Grandmama was
I'm gonna
a
assume
superstar.
that was Doug Smith's career high, unless
Good role player draft is a little
Oh,
overselling.
you're right, Texas fan. I should have known better. Yeah, he did go to Mizzou. I should know better.
wow.
Oh,
This guy.
dang.
Damn.
Dang.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's in public too. Now everyone knows.
I'm clipping that.
I mean,
Yeah.
touche.
Yikes.
Touche.
Yeah,
Shout-
I figured I had to, once I found out that I was like, I have to include it. I know no one is going to get it, which is
Yeah,
why
that
I have to
was-
include it. You know,
Shout out to Storm and Norman. Norm Stewart was a fantastic coach. Good for him. We will be back tomorrow. Bobby, our pregame show will begin at 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m.
8:30 a.m. I'll be here bright and early.
Okay. Our pregame will begin at 8:30 as your Mavericks take on Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's trending toward 77 being available to play tomorrow because if he doesn't play,
course.
he won't be able to play in the All-Star game on Sundays. So things
And we
are-
know how much he loves to do that.
well, apparently that's his motivation for wanting to come back tomorrow so he actually can play.
Yeah, I bet that's his motivation.
Sure.
So, among other things. So we'll see. But pregame will begin at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll have our watch along as well during the game as well. And then our postgame show will be immediately afterwards. Appreciate our guy Tanner making us look good and sound good as always.
Lunch.
Thank you, sir. That's our DLLS Mavs
Lunch.
analyst Bobby Carell and very hungry, by the way. So DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harad Jr. I'm your man, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 8:30. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.